Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Book of Love by Kelly Link. Happy New Year, everyone! Happy 2025! I hope you had a wonderful 2-week period here. We had a 2-week hiatus for the end of the year, and I am so excited to be back here with all of you here in the new year in 2025. And I am so excited to be talking about the book that I read over my end of year break, The Book of Love by Kelly Link. This is a book that came out last February in general Bar Cart Bookshelf tradition. I spent the end of the year, and I'm looking forward to spending a good deal of January reading some books that I didn't have the opportunity to read in 2024, in the previous year. And one of those books is The Book of Love. In February, when it came out, I was like, oh, I really want to read this. I'm very excited about reading this. I have pre-ordered this. And it's a big book. It's, 600 pages. And that can be a little hard in our production schedule. But also, by wonderful happenstance, the really fantastic reviewer Molly Templeton described the book as a Christmas book. And this, was in a review that came out last February in March, and I was like, oh, thank heavens, thank heavens, thank heavens. Now I have the perfect time in which to set aside dedicated space to reading the Book of Love. And that was at the holidays. And yes, it is a holiday book. I mean, it's an anytime book, but I was very glad to be reading it over our end-of-year holiday break because it's an epic. It's a contemporary fantasy. It's one of those slipstream sort of curio fantasies. It's surreal, it's dreamlike, it's magical in the best way. It's grand, and it was the perfect way to spend not only the time that I was in the company of dear family and friends over the holidays, but also as snow and ice wrapped around me here at the beginning of the year. And just what a dream of a book it is. It's the story of a town of young people who have come back from the dead after a year of disappearance. It's a story of life, death, sex, love, rock and roll, transformation, and really the power of being young and coming into one's own and being immensely old and tired and wanting and feeling the palpable hunger of want, that desire, that feast. It's one of those books that, I guess you could call crossover. Some people might call it crossover because our protagonists are teenagers, but it is solidly an adult book. It is a book for adults. It's a book that I would have loved reading as a teen, I think, but one that I appreciate all the more so now as an adult. It's one of those staunch and important reminders that just because a book has younger protagonists doesn't mean that it is necessarily for younger readers. It's thoughtful and powerful and just one of those books, that we really love here on Bar Cart Bookshelf that washes over you, that you sort of let yourself get wrapped up in and be transformed by. And so, of course, it had to have a drink. Our drink today is the Lovesend. It takes its name from the town in which our action is set, the town of Lovesend, Massachusetts, there along the coast. And we're going to start with 1 1/4 ounces of blackstrap rum, that really dark, chocolatey, really great for wintertime rum. If you wanted to use a Medford-style rum, you know, one of those Massachusetts-style rums in the here, you certainly could make that substitution. But I really love the Blackstrap for that darkness, that earthiness, that, you know, dirt under your fingernails, under your claws, sort of feeling that rich, chocolatey depth to it. And then we are going to get 3/4 of an ounce of pomegranate grenadine, classic pomegranate grenadine, that is that rich red, that fruitiness, that dark fruit, that pomegranate of the underworld moment, that blood red, dried quality, and also redolent with rosewater, because when we make our grenadine here on Bar Cart Bookshelf, we always scent that with a bit of rosewater. We see a nice little bit of rosewater or rose that pervades the more deathly aspects of the Book of Love. Lovely. And then finally, we will get 1 ounce of heavy cream, real richness, real depth, nice for wintertime, nice for snow falling on coastal communities or, you know, across the continental United States, as has been the case for many of us lately. And then we'll add our ice. We're going to get our ice in here now and shake it up, wake it up. And give that a good solid shake for a while. Beautiful. And then we'll cap that. Give it a stout tap so that it unseals. Beautiful. And we're going to strain our liquid back into our small tin here and discard the ice for one of my favorite techniques. This is the reverse dry shake. So we'll get that capped again and shake it up some more. And what this is doing is giving us all the more like fluff, all the more foam, all the more volume to our cocktail, really giving it that wonderful sort of transformative airy quality, and sort of whipping the cream, essentially. Not quite to a full whip, but really helping to aerate things. And the reverse dry shake is always a bit easier than the dry shake because the tins are already cold, that metal's already contracted. It's already going to be easier for you to work with. And easier to open up as well. Get our Hawthorne strainer back out, a glass here, and strain supple, refreshing into there. Finally, I'm going to garnish with a sprinkling of nutmeg. Lovely. And give that a little swirl, because it always looks extra nice when you give that a little swirl. Perfect. And there you have it. This is the Lovesend, inspired by the Book of Love. You should definitely check out the Book of Love by Kelly Link. I've got a link to snag it in the description below. A link. It's a really great book if you're interested in people being fully human and, you know, if, as with, like, the spear cuts through water, you wish that the moon was mean, and, if you, like, long for, like, the yearning of thousands of years, and the yearning of 5 minutes, when all of a sudden you're caught and transformed and remade, and if you want the sort of magic that feels so close you can almost touch it, if you want that sense of transformation, of being able to be a weasel or a bear or 6 different kinds of birds in the space of half an hour, then I think you're really going to have a wonderful time with the Book of Love. It's a book that I was so glad to end my year and greet my year with, and one that I'm so excited to be sharing with all of you here on Bar Cart Bookshelf. I've got links to various forms of social media, including Instagram and Blue Sky. We're really spending a lot of time on Blue Sky these days, where there's always a written version of today's recipe. Got a link to snag my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails Inspired by the Wonderful World of Video Games. If, on these cold nights, you're staying in as I am and playing some games, we got your libations there for you. Try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Definitely check out the Book of Love. I think you're really going to have a great time with it. And until next time, cheers.